Happy Sunday. I hope in this instance, or in this, idea or whatever, I'm able to take my own advice and do what I'm going to talk about in this video. Well, what I want to talk about really quickly, because the video's done when I get back to the house, but you have got to focus on what it is that you want and just stick with that. That book, The One Thing, look it up. The book is called The One Thing. I feel like you should read it. It's a great book. So, or get the audio book, one or the other. But this is the thing. Just got done writing, and there's so many skills that I have lost because I didn't stick with it. Now I got injuries and everything, and I was sidelined because, ultimately, I could have pushed harder, but, there's other things in life other than riding. You're bored or, getting in shape, like family, parenting responsibilities, which, supersede all this crap. But, so, I'm not going to make excuses, but, I have a life. So for whatever reason, I didn't stick with it. I'm not the one to make excuses. I could have done more. But what I'm trying to say is this: if it hurts, getting back out there and having skills that you're trying to, use again, and they're just not there. And, it's because you're not, you haven't been consistent. You haven't reached that point, in it where you could just recall those skills at any point. I was, a beginner when I was getting better, and then I stopped. So, I'm still like trying to, recall and adapt again to those, beginner, skills that you need to have, and at a heavier weight. So, because I had lost a bunch of weight when I was riding before, a lot. So as I was losing more weight, I was unlocking more skills. I was becoming, things were becoming easier because I was lighter. So, all those things play, a part in it. But I'm just using that as an example of, the same thing with the weight loss. You've got to stick with it. You can't say, oh, well, I'm going to take like 2-3 months off. No, that's your lifestyle at that point. Riding should have been more of my lifestyle than a hobby if I was trying to get good at it. And I understand that now. You grow as a person. Hopefully you grow as a person. Everyone doesn't grow as a person. I have people that used to be in my life that didn't grow as people, and I'm like, see ya, I got a son to raise. When you have when you're a parent, you're thinking about like, okay, well, I have to like inject adult into this child. And so, the way I look at it is people that don't resonate with you, they're in your way. Especially if you're a parent and you're trying to really, make things happen with your kid. You can't be having people around you that are just like on another planet, man. You gotta think. You can't waste your time. Time is very important. That's why I do these videos when I'm driving from doing something to another thing, or you always see me going someplace. Because, it's like I say on my Facebook profile, action. You got to be moving. And I learned that from my mentors. You got to always be making things happen. Something's always being generated. You're never sitting around, oh, where am I at? It's called absorbing every opportunity of, breathing time that you have on this planet. Because it's easy to be complacent. It's easy to be stagnant. Easy. So, yeah, but back to the topic. Stick with what you're trying to, accomplish. Stick with it. Make it part of your lifestyle. If the fat loss thing is your thing, which I hope it is, because unless you're trying to get some, the happiness is a choice videos are good if you want like life enrichment stuff. I think it's good stuff. I just stopped doing it all the time because, man, it was just making my days negative, because it's just one of those things, man. When you have life experience and you've experienced a lot of things, you may be talking about a topic that could enrich another, but in you it sparks oh, you know, these experiences that you've been through, and everyone's not trying to think about those experiences. I found myself like reliving all these experiences and thinking about these experiences, and it's like, man, I got a lot of stuff to do, man. I gotta be, you know, wear a genuine smile for my kid every day. I don't have time to be thinking about negativity, but those videos are done, so you could always go back and, you know, they're there. And, you know, happiness is a choice. I think there's like, man, there's like 300 videos on there of, you know, I feel like stuff that would help you. You know, I definitely, you know, I'm not saying all of it's happy information, but, you know, for as far as I'm concerned, that information can help you. But, you know, they just sit there and no one watches them, and I just keep making videos, and I just keep laughing because these situations, I see zombies out here, you know. Not saying I'm, you know, the man or anything like that, or the best, but I see zombies out here. I see people that just don't have any kind of direction or anything. You know, and I relate a lot of that to the fat loss stuff, because, you know, I even felt it myself, and I said it in one of the other videos, that when I was 10%, I felt different. You know, and I just, you know, I want to help people, you know, unlock that part of them, especially the people that have never had it. And I know there's a lot of endomorphs out there that have never, you know, felt like that whole like lean and, you know, had that body that they wanted, and I know how that feels, and it's a special thing, but you have to be dedicated. And like my freeboard skills, how they suck, you know, now, because I took so much time off, and, you know, and took breaks, and, you know, had problems with my, you know, I had problems with my hip, my back, you know, I have a back injury, you know, all these things, you know, they kept sidelining me, and then I said, oh, well, you know, I'll just take all these months off and, you know, and heal, and I probably could have come back sooner than that, you know. But that's the same thing with fat loss. You know, people do the same stuff. I've seen the same thing. You know, people will they will, you know, be on a roll, and they'll be, oh, you know, I deserve to, you know, take a little break, or, you know, or they trick themselves into thinking, well, I can, you know, since I'm lean now, I can go back to eating this way, and I'll be fine. I won't gain the weight back. And then that's, you know, and that's the same thing I was thinking, like, oh, well, when I go back to riding, I'll still have those skills. You know, I don't have to, you know, I did all this work, you know, and put in all this time and all these hours going to ride in all these different locations to improve my skills, to get better, to, you know, to incrementally get better. And I'm just going to take all this time off and unadapt my body to this, you know, stuff, and I'm going to come back and just be fine. That's silly. That's, you know, you have to stick with it. You have to stick with it. Anyone that's great at something is just like that consistency. You know, the 10,000 hours, obviously, we know that. And then on top of that 10,000 hours, you are just like, you know, moving up. You know, you master it, and then you're just like, you know, if you're trying to be great, you gotta be on it. I hear these people all the time talking about how they intuitively eat now. And I think, like, wow, you know, and they have great physiques. And, you know, that's just where you eat, you know, you don't count or anything like that. You just, oh, have these things, you know, eat this today or whatever. And they look great. And, you know, and some of them are endomorphs. So I know that's very difficult. So stick with stick with whatever it is that you want to be good or great at. Stick with it. Don't walk away. You know, take a minimal time off if you have to. Happy Sunday.